let's talk about the books that I want to read during the month of February. I am going to be focusing on different teams that I'm planning on doing vlogs for, and I think this month is going to be a fantastic reading month. So one of the reading vlogs that I want to do is focus on new releases or advanced reader copies, so ARCs that I have that are books that will be coming out anytime now. So I have a few options for those, so you can vote, but this one, no questions asked, I will be reading. This is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Enricks. I have read 3 of his books so far, and all 3 were 4 stars. And I don't think of myself as a horror girly, which I can't stop saying, but I never saw myself as someone that loved horror. I always tended to focus more on mystery thrillers, and after a couple, not just a couple, a lot of flops, I've realized that these work for me. So this is his newest release. It came out in January, and I'm hoping this is going to work because I'm a big fan of witches in general. And I believe you're following girls that are sent away. Is it in 70s? Yes, summer of 1970. So young girls, underage girls that are sent to this house because they got pregnant and it's their fault, right? So they will be punished like that until, they have the baby and they can come back to their family. So I think they will get their hands on a magical book. I don't know if someone gives it to them, and I'm assuming horror stuff is going to happen plus magic, which, yes, this is everything I want in a book. I'm hoping the author will not disappoint because, like I said, 4 books so far I have really enjoyed. So that's his newest one. Very excited. Now, out of the advanced reader copies, so books that will be released anytime now, I have a few options. I think this one might be one of the ones that I do pick, and it is A Drop of Corruption, which is the second book after The Tainted Cup that I read last year and also made it to my best books of the year. Really, really enjoyed it. This is like a murder mystery, a lot of political intrigue, but also the world building seems to be interesting. Adult fantasy. High fantasy. So I really enjoyed book 1, and I'm looking forward to the second one. And like I said, I have the copy before it's out, so I want to read it. So that's very high on the list of possibilities. There is also When the Moon Hits Your Eye, which is by John Scalzi. I have read multiple of his books also, and I have enjoyed them. I don't think I would have picked this book up if it weren't attached to his name, because the premise, basically the moon turns into cheese, which sounds really cheesy, and I feel like he has done a fantastic job making me laugh reading his sci-fi books. So I feel like I will give it a shot for sure. He tends to write dad's jokes, but they work. So that's another possibility. I also have The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I have read one series by him and I did enjoy it, mostly the first book to be completely honest, but I have heard fantastic things about him in general, so I want to try more by him, and I think this is also not too far from being released, so it's a possibility also as one of the books that I will be reading during this vlog. So vote in the comment section. I will be doing more of those vlogs specifically on ARCs because I have more. For example, I do have Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil, which is the newest release by V.E. Schwab, but it's not coming out soon, so I don't want to read it yet. Don't come for me. I know a lot of you would have read it right now, but I'm trying to keep up with the newest releases, so the second vlog that I will do on the topic, I will read it, I promise. So those are the ones that I could be reading. Let me know in the comment section what you want me to pick. I also want to continue reading your best books of 2024 because I did my first reading vlog on that topic in January and it went really well. So I trust you. I want to read more of them. And I still had some of the ones I had bought on your recommendations. So this is the first one I will be reading because a lot of you wanted me to, and it is The Spear Cuts Through Water. So this one is a standalone high fantasy, adult high fantasy, which there aren't enough of those. So I will be trying to read that because I suck at finishing series. So that sounds pretty easy. I believe this one, you're following this emperor who kept this god in his prison and is using them to have magic. So the 2 main characters will be trying to help them escape, which I don't know if it's I think it says her. So we'll see. I have heard fantastic things about this one. I actually did read the first couple pages the other day when I didn't know what to read, so I ended up picking the other book because this one, the writing is a bit slower, a little bit more lyrical, and I was feeling the reading slump, but I've heard it's amazing, so I believe you. I will be trying this one. And then we also have a mystery thriller, which I still want to read the popular ones. I get sucked into the hype. Listen for the Lie, which I think it's a mix of podcasts and a murder mystery, which they have worked for me in the past. So again, crossing my fingers here, but this is about these 2 young girls who were beloved in their small town, and then one day one of them is murdered and the other one is found covered in blood. So it has to be her, or people think so. So there's that. And then the other one, if I feel like getting out of my comfort zone, this is more, I think, literary fiction. So this is Blue Sisters. This author I've seen going around and I wanted to try her. So I think the story is more about grief because these 4 sisters, one of them passes away and they all meet up in their childhood home in New York. So that's what I'm assuming the story is going to be about, but I've heard good things. I want to try it. Some of you gave it 5 stars, so we'll test it eventually. I might also try to do a fun 24-hour or like 48-hour weekend reading vlog. We'll see how things go, but I also want to continue reading series. So like, I don't know which one is going to win. That's basically the point, because I also need to do my Read It or Unhaul It challenge. And I feel like that's my problem. I need more time. Can I have like a clone, because I want to read all the books at the same time. But if I get around to continuing series, these are some possibilities. So we do have The Fires of Vengeance, because I really enjoyed book 1, and at the time book 2 was not out, so now it is. I have no excuses. I need to actually continue the series. So again, high fantasy revenge story. It was good. It was really good. And then I did read book 1 last year, so I should continue, but this one terrifies me. This is an echo of things to come. Very classic chosen one kind of high fantasy. There's this wall in the north that, you know, people are trying to attack, and like very classic, but at the same time there's a bit of a twist with some of the mystery happening that I want answers. So oh my gosh. At least it's floppy, right? It's not as scary, but like it's still scary. So there's that one. And then eventually I do want to continue The Wheel of Time because, oh my gosh, shameful, shameful. I read the first book a couple years ago and I have yet to continue. So The Great Hunt would be nice to actually read. It's not that thick. It is. It's 600 pages. So that's another possibility depending on what I do. So would you prefer me doing like a 24, 48-hour vlog, or should I continue series? I mean, I don't have to do it every month. Finding excuses. So that's a possibility. Let me know. But yes, series would be nice. Now, audiobooks. I love using my library as much as possible. And for some reason in January, I read a ton of nonfiction as audiobooks. I think it's just because I was focusing on them in December and they just all are coming out at the same time now. But I do want to finish How Not to Die, which interesting title. This was recommended to me a lot, and once I mentioned that I was going to read this, a lot of you told me it was fantastic, so I'm going to try it. It is 18 hours long though, so that's a little scary. I do have The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson, which it would be nice if I actually finished this series. So 19 hours also. I feel like I'm going to focus on these really long audiobooks, but that would be good. That would actually be good for me to finish the series because I really enjoyed the first 3 books. It's so long, 4 books. I do have The Message, which I've been meaning to read, and this one is only 5 hours. So I feel like it would be a nice balance between the really long ones. So that's also a possibility. Another shortish one, it's 8 hours, is Welcome to the Yeongnam-dong Bookshop, which, okay, I did read last year 2 Japanese translations that centered around a bookstore, and I kind of hated both of them. So we're going to try a Korean translation, and we're going to cross our fingers. Listen, I have not been lucky with them for some reason. Either I don't connect emotionally, or they straight up annoy me, which that was the case with those 2, which honestly, I don't know why, because I really like stories that centered around bookstores. So it's just even more frustrating. So I'm going to try this one. It's supposed to be kind of feel good a little, which it's my last shot. I don't know if I'm going to have time for it or not, but a lot of you told me also to try Bury Your Gaze, which for some reason I keep thinking about this other book, which is a nonfiction called Bad Gaze. I don't know why. I'm assuming the title, but like for some reason I can't stop mixing them. But the description says that it's about what it takes to succeed in the world that wants you dead, which is like very intense. And this actor that keeps getting killed off in movies because he plays the gay character is starting to be hunted by like the monsters in the movies that he's played. So okay, again, I've mentioned that horror books have been working for me a lot more than I expected, so I'm going to continue trying. And again, you guys told me that this was a good one, so I'm trusting you. I feel like this month I'm trying a lot of your favorites. I also have the audiobook for Listen for the Lie, but I don't know if I'm going to get it before I get around to reading it, but a lot of you told me to try the audiobook versus the physical copy, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I have a few audiobooks that are possibilities, but these are probably the most realistic ones for me to get around to listening. So that's kind of the plan for my February, I do think that I have some really strong candidates here. I'm really excited by the newest releases and the ones that I'm, reading in advance. So now I need you to vote for which of these arcs you want me to read, because I will have time for at least one, maybe two. And then let me know if you would rather me do like a 48 hour challenge, which I'll keep the content as a surprise. I have some good ideas, but or if you would rather me focus longer on series. You tell me. I don't know yet. Maybe I should just keep it for like just in case what I'm feeling, but I think I'm gonna have a fantastic month. I feel like January was a good start, but February might be even better. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I'll put more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, including I did my Read It Unhaul It, my first one of the year, and it went really well. And if you want to see actually the book series that I'm hoping to read in 2025, I did put my list of the 20 most possible contenders, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.